And we have got a cracker to start off. We were just chuckling behind the scenes about this because for a lot of people, this is literally just tuning into a DeMu stream. It's loueMT versus DeMu makes up like half of his games these days, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, those two clash pretty much like these are like the two players that play the most often, like on stream, on the ladder. Like they meet each other so many times, it's insane. Much to the dismay, of course, he'll have to play on India.
Yes, in pubs, but luckily here we just let them choose a server. Usually, I think for this type of showdown, it'll be the American server, so probably East Coast or West Coast. But we've got a stacked day. I mean, this is the first set of the day, but guys, we've loaded it up with the good stuff. Of course, it's going to be the first major tournament return of a certain Spaniard, joined by his compadre brother. We've got loueMT, DeMu open the day, but we're following it with Beastie versus Vortex, Wham versus Luciferon, and then rounding out the day with Marine Lord versus Anatan. That last series in particular has me interested, Crackety, because I don't know if they've been, from what I can see, they have still been scrimming together a decent amount. But Marine Lord's always a little bit more secretive. You know he's always got someone else in reserve, because out of all the players we've got here at the Elite Classic 3, Marine Lord is always the one publicly you don't really know what he's been doing.
Yeah, that's the point exactly, right? Like, this guy plays so many custom games, you don't even know, like, you don't even remotely know, okay, from one tournament to the other, it might be that his playstyle or, like, his meta strategies just completely change.
Yeah.
If you're not one of the people that actively scrim against him. And even then, because he plays with so many people, it can be kind of tough.
And then, like, even thinking about the other sets, the fact we've got BC versus Vortex, scrim partners in the last major tournament, but maybe a twist this time. I mean, there's no denying Beastie probably is looking weaker this time around, considering he's been busy with a subathon non-stop. So practice is hard to squeeze in. And then you've got Vortex's brother back in the affair. And I mean, you saw Luciferon's games in like the midweek musters. Some of them, I imagine, like
well, he's been playing a ton, like not just in the midweek musters, but he's been actively like putting the time in, not just in the custom games, but also on ladder. Like he's been actively playing the game for, I want to say, like a good 2 months again, and already like he's got so many games under the belt. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, you wouldn't actually think that he took an extended leave. You wouldn't believe that he'd like potentially quit and wasn't coming back. Like the guy looks fierce. I think he's a top runner. The big question mark, of course, there I think for a lot of people be, you know, Wham, Poppy Paw, has the NA Alliance come back online? Can they hit that stride? Don't know how you're feeling about the current patch. I think like with the changes in season 10, with the nerfs to Pro Scouts, etc., I do think maybe the Canadians got a little bit buffed. I also think players like loueMT probably are big fans of the current meta.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. Louis, he's one of those players that have excellent macro when it comes to going for food transition, going for farm transition, like the slow and steady farm transition. Louis is definitely like one of those players that has kind of like mastered the arts of doing a farm transition while having uptime on your army create, like on your unit production, and just overall making it so smooth. Like there is never that one time where you see him like, okay, there's the cut, he ran out of food, he's got to do a farm transition. No, it's always a smooth, steady curve of unit production for him while doing the farm transition. That's also something that DeMu is incredibly good at. So, like, these two players, macro-wise, definitely, like, neck and neck when it comes to their execution, when it comes to their farm transition.
Absolutely. I've got to agree. Like, loueMT is on another level with some of these as well. Like, China comes to mind. We were just talking behind the scenes about the Ottoman pick. He's probably the scariest monster you're going to find with that pick right now. Even potential for some Knights Templar and House of Lancaster down the line. But it's going to be kicking off here. Sacred Grove, Shuffle My Tie. Big shout out to Caillou for bringing this map to life. We tested the KPMM. My feeling was, even though it seemed like it was good for Pro Scouts, the way the Deer won the central ramp created a lot of contest. And I think with the nerfs to Pro Scouts, this is going to be a real exciting map to see with some of the best in the game.
Yeah, for sure. Personally, I haven't seen Sacred Grove too many times just because it's not on the ladder. It's great that we have it in some other tournaments, so definitely something where the players can sort of like already get a feel for a map. So definitely very nice to have that one in the KPMMs. And yeah, overall, I mean, it's just one of those maps where you get the game, you get the map segmented into like different points where if you want to attack on one side, it actually takes quite a long time to change your direction to suddenly start, try and attack from another side.
Yeah, like you have enough room to go around the TC, but the concept is that your move will be revealed. So if you want to be more secretive, you have to take a wider arc. And I don't know, the idea basically came from my roots as a MOBA player. You know, like if if you understand MOBAs, you understand that that map is 3 lanes. It's dead brain simple. So commit to a lane. Please don't spend too long in the jungle, and make sure you try to win for your team. But I don't know. I think it's about time to get this show on the road. We've got a long, busy day, and this is the type of set that could easily go 5 games, and each of those games could easily go an hour apiece. We've got Liquid DeMu up against Team Elephant's loueMT in a best of 5 here in the Elite Classic 3.
Man, KP, I'm always so excited. Now that we're at that stage of the game where, at the stage of the tournament, I think the minimap is slightly too big.
Yeah, I think I know what happened here. Yeah, so this tricked me. We recently had an update to capture age, and it meant that my graphics were the incorrect size as well. So we'll see if you can find a size that fits. But unfortunately, this wasn't mentioned in the capture age patch notes because we got a lot of cool additions.
There we go. The map. Yeah, the map finally. Almost.
Middle
almost.
size.
Medium.
Yep, medium.
Yeah. Now the pants fit. There we go. All right.
Had to breathe in a bit, but we got there.
I'm so excited now that we're past like the qualifier stage and the like this is the main event now. We're in the main event, and I'm so excited because this is what the players are always practicing for. Personally, I know a lot of us might not have that much time to spend on Age of Empires 4. Like, we got a full-time job, we got IRL commitments to take care of, but these players live and breathe Age of Empires 4. So it's really exciting to see just exactly what they've been cooking up with their civilizations, with their strategies, depending on the map, and where they've been expecting this matchup to take place. And we see Louis here opening up with Dark Age Wheelbarrow. DeMu not opting for that. Makes a lot of sense for Louis, since French, you know, they place that mill, they save a little bit of wood on that one, they can spend it on that wheelbarrow. That's not something that DeMu could afford with Jeanne d'Arc. So we already see like these small differences between these variant civilizations kicking in here.
Yeah, and the other thing to kind of consider here is like whether we're actually going to get the Pro Scouts on Pro Scouts meta. You'd think with these two civs it's just going to be a go-to, but I gotta say, like, you know, the way that French has the cheaper mills, also the proximity of that deer, it might be a temptation for Louis to kind of forgo Pro Scouts to get more tempo.
Yeah, you forgo Pro Scouts, but instead you get more Knights out. Definitely could be a choice here. Louis hasn't started with the age up yet, though. Is going to pull 5 villagers for that, and we do see the Scout actively luring some of the deer towards his TC. So very nice play there. If he's going to be able to pull this off, mind you, that DeMu should be able to see this through the fog of war, but his Scout is kind of far away at the moment, so I'm not sure if he's going to be there in time. But if he's able to pull this off, that's like an additional 2,000 food safely underneath the TC from Louis.
Yeah, 2450 for the full pack, but even if you just get 3 or 4 deer, like if your sheep pool's good enough, you can pull off the no PS builds and then just kind of delay play. It is a bit dangerous on this map, so kind of design concept with Sacred Grove when we were cooking it up is we wanted to have the safety of the tree line with Gorge, but a lot of insecurity on the next step out. Similar to Gorge, but also like it feels a little bit more divided and maybe safer beyond that point. You know how Gorge is where you spread wide and you're like, oh god, I need to wall the whole thing. So like with this one, you can see you've got a lot of resources for your base in the open. So that's probably like the most difficult point in the game, I want to say. Early game, in theory, quite easy. Late game, reasonable. But the mid game is really where your opponent's going to get opportunities to punish you.
Ooh.
And nicely
there
done.
We go. DeMu scouts it. He's going to be able to deny the full push in. And even kills him in a little bit of a wider arc. So Louis is definitely going to be incentivized to go Pro Scouts here at the end of the day.
Like, maybe if I just push them a bit closer together, we can finesse this, but
I think this is fine if he goes for a mill now. Yeah, I mean, he tried, but I mean, I think this is still fine to go for a mill. He's already got wheelbarrows, so his villagers are going to be really, really efficient when it comes to that. Yeah. And I like that Louis pulled the 5 villagers here for the age up. Means that he actually matches the age up time from DeMu. So both players now just going to start massing up those knights.
Yeah, and that's the thing, by the way. Like, if you go wheelbarrow, I don't think you ever want to be going for Pro Scouts. Like, the whole point, when you look at the Pro Scouts meta, is we saw heavy delays to wheelbarrow timing because it pretty much contradicted the other tech. Like, you know, if you're bringing deer to one location and the villagers aren't moving, why would you need a movement speed tech? It just kind of defeated the point. But the interesting part here is that DeMu looks like he can actually mirror the knight situation, right? He's not going to fall behind at all. Usually with Jean, there's an easy growing risk that you end up 1 or 2 knights behind French because of the tempo and the extra villages they have early on.
Ooh, Scout could block the charge. Charge, oh, doesn't get blocked, but also doesn't go off in the first place.
and now your scout won't be able to help you anymore. So DeMu will have to back away. He has got a slight lead on timing on the knights coming out, but the problem here is he just lost a villager. Jean's ready to level up.
Yeah. So Jean is going to be going for the archer variant. It should be, because that's usually... Yeah, there we go. Hunter Arc is coming in. That way you'll be able to snipe out the weaker knights once they get to low HP, since it does do true damage, so it doesn't get blocked by any armor. Means that Jean, if she's able to like snipe one or two of those weak knights, she gets a lot of experience, and also means that those knights are not going to be able to heal back up.
All right, I'm going to dotify this because we already talked about this being MOBA inspired. Jean in this matchup is basically Sniper, who is a glass cannon type hero with an assassinate ability that he's only threatening if you don't jump on top of him. And Jean in this matchup fulfills that description perfectly. She has to be very careful about positioning and also timings here, because if Louis just even remotely outnumbers you, you will end up losing her.
For those League enjoyers here, she's pretty much Caitlyn.
There you go. Yeah, that works too. If they gave her a bubble shield, she could have been Lux, you know?
Could be. The stun is kind of missing, but then again, we also don't have traps.
True, but we do get, like, you know, the
You lose
equivalent
some
of
and you lose
sniping
some
people.
more.
Yeah, we gotta pick our fights. Okay, I kind of want a unit that does what Pike or Pudge does. You know, I want to be able to hook people in.
Ooh. Imagine, like, displacing unit. Oh, that could be too strong. Imagine just putting the units underneath a keep with boiling oil. That could be devastating. But we don't have that here. Something to take note of at the moment. DeMu did go for pro scouts.
Yes.
And he does have double scout. He's got at least one scout actively, like, bringing back the deer right now. The other scout's just with his army, making sure that he's always going to have that little bit of extra vision. But it is going to mean that he is going to fall behind. No, might he actually uses both scouts to hunt right now.
Huh. So, the thing is, does Louis actually realize it? Because I got to give a lot of credit to DeMu on the way he played this. It wasn't just immediate greed into pro scouts. He essentially masked the play by spamming knights at first. And that may have made Louis a little bit paranoid. And there we go. We do have the play out. So, this is the trade-off. Like, you don't have pro scouts, but you're going to have outposts. So, 100 with a pop versus your opponent just popping 450. Ooh. It's a pretty good exchange.
Speaking of masking the play here, Louis, he went all the way around the outer side. But I think DeMu, one of his scouts might have just been a little bit in line of sight. Nope, he doesn't know. He's unaware. Those knights, they're going to hit the gold mine, and there's nothing left there to defend. No outpost, nothing. DeMu's kind of unaware here.
Louis, he does come in from the closest side, though, so he needs to pull away there. Yeah, and we'll still find some kills, though. So painful in this situation when you know the French are going to scale an eco lead anyway. You need some vengeance. The problem, though, this is what happens when you get pro scouts. That knight count doesn't look that threatening. There probably could have been 2 more if he didn't commit to that play.
Yeah, Louis, he did go for the outpost. DeMu doesn't have an outpost on his gold, so he doesn't have any way of keeping those villagers safe.
Yeah.
Needs to go around back there, but
I mean, this is
all vital time.
Well, this is also like a catch-22, because if you get idled here, you can't build more knights, so it becomes even harder to defend. The lead builds even bigger for Louis. And look at the big thing that's on the way. You know, the one upside that Jean can have is effective HP through healing. Louis is already priming Chivalry.
Yeah. Chivalry on its way. Main army from DeMu is now coming in, but with the same movement speed, after the charge runs out, DeMu isn't really going to have any tools of catching these units off guard.
He's trying to save it.
Trying to go for a surround, though.
It never acts the way you want it to. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you guys just need to charge in that direction, and then in 3 seconds, you'll intercept. Why are you guys following behind them?
It rarely quite works the way you want it to. Oh, Weak Knight is getting pulled back. Oh my god, the charge. Beautiful.
That was sick. That was
Louis actually getting the kill there.
Yep. Doesn't even lose the scout. That was crazy. And DeMu, so... By the time he'd intercept here, the reinforcements will arrive. And he sees the Chivalry now. He knows the healing's happening. This is where it just gets frustrating.
Yeah. Louis once again sending the next couple of reinforcements out to the gold mine again. I don't think we've got an outpost there yet.
They could even find John at this rate. No scout with them. DeMu does have double knight. That should be enough to hold this back. Oh, again, he just... He slivers one in there.
And now the reinforcements from Louis. Yeah, DeMu's getting pushed back time and time again.
Can he snipe one? No. Okay, that is an expensive 24 XP, though.
Yeah. Using 2 of the arrows? That's a long cooldown associated with it.
Yeah, this is like an interesting matchup as well, because I feel like in the very beginning, if there's one small slip up, Jean can dominate because you can snipe like one knight. And then you reach a long phase of French being better due to the extra villages. And then I want to say like deeper down the line, around like 15, 20 minutes, Jean can feel a bit better because of the creeping XP, but also the efficiency of building knights. And well, that is not an efficient fight right there. The problem is that whole idea of like 15, 20 minutes where DeMu could be better. I don't know if Jean survives until then at this spacing.
Yeah, this really hurts now. Not having that outpost here with the line of sight. And now, oh my god, Louis is in 3 stables now. He's got almost 10 more villagers at this point in time. He's out on the deer as well. He's just kind of hovering around with his reinforcements there as well, so it's very hard for DeMu to try and get any picks off over there. He is still actively pro-scouting, but he's not really getting a major benefit here. Might even lose those 2 scout there.
Yeah, like the thing that
drop the deer.
Oh. He'll be able to get away. The thing to keep in mind here as well is like, is every 2.2 minutes you're building a villager lead as French, right? Because they produce villages an extra 3 seconds faster. It stockpiles quickly in games like this. And you don't want to have to go spears, even though you know you're at a disadvantage. And I think in some ways that can make Jean desperate. You know what I mean? Like, it's very obvious what you have to do.
Yeah, and she's nowhere near to the next level. And right now, Louis is just pulling back on one side, and at the same time, reinforcements go attack from the other. And the second DeMu wants to direct to that one, you can already see on the minimap, the first army once again starts moving in.
But I've got a knight. He'll hold them back. Yeah, I mean, that guy's gonna have to be. That's gonna have to be Zhang Fei on a bridge in a Romance of the Three Kingdoms tale. 2 more villages down. This gold vein is killing him.
Louis is so good at getting these kills in. He's not losing anything out there to like bad pathing or anything like that with those knights. Same time, looks like DeMu
Please kill that knight.
almost
please,
able to.
Please.
Yeah, he gets him.
Slam dunked.
That was actually far enough with the arrow that John didn't get any experience out of it.
I've mentioned this before to the devs. I think they just need to give her a last hit indication. I think if Jean does the final hit, she should get it at any range. It feels like you just get robbed sometimes. Oh.
Yeah.
I think this is
Might
also...
count now. Louis 6 knights ahead.
Do you think this exact matchup and this exact scenario is why the devs have been talking about, like, you know, changing Jean, right? Because we had the interviews with Winston where he mentioned they're looking at reworking Jean as a faction. Do you think they've just watched this too many times? Like, yeah, they're just gonna build knights.
This specific, yeah, I don't think it's this specific matchup, but I mean, in general, Jean is just kind of weird, right? Because he's just trading out bonuses that the French civilization has baseline passively or putting it out there on a unit at the end of the day. So it's not like too different. The gameplay at the end of the day, when it comes to the units, the type of units that you make, it's still very similar to base French.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool if they... I was saying that the other day, that it'd be kind of cool to see them, maybe if she didn't have French knights at all, and instead her unique units were in feudal age. Like, change their stats a little, but they were, like, accessible early on. Extra tweaks on top of that, but, like, actually make it truly unique. Because right now...
Yeah, I think definitely, like, an approach would definitely be... Yeah,
I was about to say, right now you just feel like a worse French. So apparently Jean wanted to join the better French, and we know how that went down historically. She's gone.
Yeah. Oh, and now Rachel as well. He's going to move on to the boar next, taking all the resource out on the map. Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, Louis, he just didn't have any downsides, really, to not getting pro scouts other than a little bit of movement, like walking time from the villagers.
Exactly.
But you want to be out on the map anyways when it comes to the follow-up. After the deer, you want to start taking the berries.
And also the boar. The boar is the biggest deciding factor. So, like, if you know the game is going to go long feudal, it's a game of who has more food. And funnily enough, in this situation, it was never going to be the guy who went pro scouts. So yeah, just a sick read. And... oh man, it's like sometimes I feel for Jean in this situation. Yo, do you reckon there's like one or two DeMu fans that when Jean died like that, they're like, it's a strategic buyback move so you can defend the gold? Because now Crackety, Jean was immediately back in the base.
Yeah, except she's already back on the left side as well.
Okay, but it'll be now when the dive comes in on the gold, he can force feed her, and then it's a strategic buyback to kill one of these 20 knights.
Oh man, this is not gonna be anything like that. This is just gonna be a complete surround now. Louis is completely outmassing DeMu here.
Wait, he's pulling
and
away.
Look at, he's pulling him away.
He's pulling away.
Single
The
time.
goal.
Dude,
He doesn't
Louis
realize.
so good at this. Louis is so good with this every single time. With every
It's wave
sip
after
he
wave.
does that.
The second one's now coming in. It's going to be an absolute massacre. And there's no troopers here that can stop this happening. Goal now denied once again. Eco lead now up to 16. Make it 17.
18.
Oh yeah. Oh god, forgot. French TCs produce quicker as well. Oh,
It's not
Jean.
gonna get better anytime soon for DeMu. Yeah, it's just gonna get worse and worse here. Now, time for another bore.
In fairness to DeMu, there is a comeback point in this game, believe it or not. He knows this after his infamous series of Miyamika. If Louis just builds about 120 knights, miracles can happen.
Yes. Yeah, but Louis is also the first one to age up now. With a good lead when it comes to knights. Getting veterancy on them, and then on top of all of that, royal bloodlines. There's a timer ticking for DeMu, but Louis, he's done such a great job of keeping all of these outer resources protected with outposts. That way he buys himself enough time to have his reinforcements come in on those sides.
Yeah, and it's not just about keeping the villagers safe, it's the early warning that makes it even worse. I mean, DeMu is a pro scouter with one scout. It's not like he could really split off, have 3 different groups of knights with scouts at this point in the game. And I've got this funny feeling like, you know, DeMu, he's at least in a good position that the game doesn't need to end the moment the tech up completes. The problem is, veterancy is going to be there a lot quicker for Louis, and we're talking about cavalry. It's going to reach his base before he has veterancy.
Off age up now coming. DeMu not having clicked up yet, cancels the knight, goes for force drop off. Almost able to click up himself. There we go. Age up could be coming in now. Royal Institute
That's slow.
coming in from DeMu as well. Only 8 villagers on it at the moment, yeah, and there's no food remaining underneath the TC. Most of it is out there on the berries where he's at right now, pulling a couple more villagers over, but I doubt that his upgrades are gonna be in time, and I mean, he sees the force of Louis approaching his base now.
Does he? They made the camoed against the trees. It's very hard to see sometimes, but it's going to become apparent quick. And, you know, Cantor Saddles was cancelled. Louis thought about it for the quickest hit, but he realized he wouldn't be able to get that. So instead, look at the timing. Royal Bloodlines will be there before veterancy will be in for Jean.
24 villagers now trying to get that Royal Institute up as quick as possible. DeMu, he knows he needs that upgrade for that fight. Or at least needs veterancy for that fight. But now, Louis is already there. He's finding the gold villagers. DeMu's going to have to evacuate all of those villagers. It's going to be so much idle time just walking right now. Royal Bloodlines in queue, veterancy in queue, but it's not in time. Louis already here.
And the villagers, where are they running?
And
Oh,
the
no.
villagers! Oh my god.
Careful, son. You're playing with fire. Wait, no. That is
No,
disgusting.
he's going around the side again.
He's
And now
got his
Royal
9 Royal
Bloodlines
Bloodlines. He's actually going to take it away from him. He has to fight. Veterancy to just kick in. Royal Bloodlines now
And but
complete.
Royal Bloodlines.
Louis,
Now he can turn around. He can turn around. There it is, the turnaround.
the clash he needed. And the villagers are even running through to try and get to the berries, but this is going to be a bloodbath. Game number 1 in the palms of Louis' hands. Level 3 Jean could not change that outcome. And nothing about this game can stop the DeMu ship from sinking.
Yeah, Jean, she's reached level up, but she's also dead at the same time. Unable to buy her back as well. Not enough gold. Villagers going down everywhere, and that is gonna be GG. Game number 1 going over to loueMT.
So, French kill Jean. Starkly accurate. I think like we're
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I mean we knew this. I read books.
Kinda, yeah. Like Burgundians, and they're French.
I mean I read books, Cracky. You know that? Like I mean they're my
You
daughter.
do?
Yeah, they're my daughter's books, but like I get forced to read them. It's horrible, but they get read. But yeah, this one, the story's kind of been written a dozen times. It's not that Jean can't get wins, but honestly, whenever I watch it, it feels like Jean has to do something to outplay. It's not if you just play even Stevens. French just seem to be in a very comfortable position, even more so with the Pro Scouts nerfs now, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like getting those cheaper economy buildings in as well with the Pro Scout nerf. I mean, we saw it perfectly here on a map like this where the deer weren't even far away, and with the arrow, Louis was very comfortable with just moving out to the tier. No pro scout needed. And that just allowed him to get more knights out, pull DeMu's army apart into different directions, and then go for the raids wherever the army wasn't present. And we can see it right here in the replay. Whenever DeMu tried to chase the army from Louis, he just started attacking on the other side with his reinforcements.
Yeah, I wonder how different this game would have looked with, say, an outpost on that gold. Because, like, credit to DeMu, the opening I think was very creative. Just not rushing pro scouts, but delaying it, getting a few knights in, looking like you're playing one TC, no pro scout all in. But this area, I mean, this screen,
yeah,
I imagine DeMu's thinking it back, looking back. If you just spent 100 wood, how different the outcome of this game could have been.
And he had the wood as well. He had it there. It's just, yeah, I mean, sometimes you just don't think about it. Sometimes you're like, okay, I know where my opponent's knights are. Then you might just be slightly underestimating that, okay, French might have a couple more knights up their sleeve. You went for Pro Scout, your opponent didn't go for Pro Scout. He used those resources to get a couple more knights in, and there they were in the end.
Yeah, and for anyone wondering, like, why wouldn't you build spears here? Oh my god, like, what a noob, look at all these cavalry, just stab them.
Nah.
You do nothing, right? Like,
Too slow.
Exactly. Like, yes, he's stuck in his base with knights, but if something goes right for him, he then immediately has the opportunity to do something. If he has spearmen, they pat each other on the back. They go, "Good job, boys. So back to bracing because they'll be back again."
Yeah. And also, like, French, they don't mind like making a couple of archers. It's just a scaling as well. Like, once something happens, as you mentioned, like, you can't react to an opportunity play like you would be able to with the knights, and knights just scale so well in mass. Like, when you have a lot of knights, it doesn't matter if your opponent has like mass spearmen. As long as you have more knights, you still win that fight easily. And as French, like, if you've got the micro, if you're like from StarCraft, like, you have the APM for it, you just pull these weak knights back and let them heal up later on.
And I think that's the big part. Like, feudal healing is, in my opinion, still like OP. Like, any unit that has access to feudal healing is a huge advantage when used well. Then you've got the fact that, you know, if you go into spearmen and I see that, I have two great options. I either build archers to counter you now, or I just keep poke raiding so you can't come out your base. And like you mentioned, that tech up, you get things like Royal Institute into Royal Bloodlines. Spearmen aren't going to carry you through at that point. So yeah, it's like a catch-22 with this matchup. Whoever stops building knights statistically loses.
It's going to be interesting, though.
It is, yeah, because we're just a few seconds away, and you are seeing a rose for DeMu. Someone loves him because it got through the banning phase. We are going to be seeing something wholesome here. That's right. It's Lancaster time in the Elite Classic 3. DeMu has got his hands on the new Civ, but loueMT is going camel crazy with the Ibids here in Lipany.
And Ibids, they're one of those civilizations where when you know how to play a lot of matchups, suddenly they become really strong in, like, most of them even. Like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like whenever I play Ibids and you're not used to a matchup, you play, you might lose. At the end of it, you're like, wait, there are so many better ways to approach the matchup. Like, Ibids, they're so flexible. They're so incredible flexible when it comes to the paths that they can choose, depending on the matchup.
I agree, and I think that's something that devs have definitely improved upon. Like, we recently saw some buffs. For example, Master Smiths now gives the Military Academy buff. You've then also got the things like the Industry Wing allows you to build structures quicker. When is someone going to do a fast castle drop in the enemy base? The point is, though, like, they've done a really good job of creating robustness there, which means before, you know how it used to be. It was Desert Raider, Growth Wing. Every single game. And then for a little bit, it was Growth Wing into either Advancement or Growth Wing into Dervish. I feel like we have...
Or just in general, Dervish and Feudal Age with Desert Raiders, because Dervish are
the most recent one.
Yeah.
Yep. And then now...
I mean, Dervish are just obnoxious.
We just talked about it. I just said the words, feudal healing is OP, and like the Dervishes might be the biggest extreme of that. And that's where I think this is going to be an interesting matchup, because you'd think with how greedy Lancaster are, the Dervish Desert Raider player would be OP? I don't know if it's good enough to really dive mana spam.
Yeah, I mean, mana spam is really potent. Just in general, having the ability to scale your economy giga-passively without, like, really investing... I mean, you're investing into it, but it pays off so quickly that I wouldn't even call it investing. Like, 2.5, like, after a nerf, like 3 minutes for it to pay off completely. Manors with the Lancaster castle are also incredibly tanky. They got an arrow slits in placement. It's like scaling economy with 0 downsides. Yeah, pretty much.
it's like I've talked about this extensively over the last few weeks. Like anyone who's been crying about Yeoman, all these other things, like they are symptoms of the cause. At the heart of like what has frustrated people with Lancaster, and maybe some just don't even realize it, it's the mana system. And this landmark is truly where it all begins. It is.
I'm not sure if that's accurate. Like, Yeoman at the beginning were genuinely broken because their synchronized shot was able to, like, one-shot with low numbers. Nowadays, it's been nerfed to a point where it doesn't one-shot your backline anymore instantly. And I think that's, like, where the main strength used to be because, like, now you can actually realistically survive a shot and still be able to continue a fight. Meanwhile, previously, if you didn't dodge a fight, you'd be dead immediately.
They kind of look borderline pathetic a lot of the time when I see them now, yeah. But to the point that I was getting at is because, think about it this way, right? Like, I agree they were overtuned. And I never, like, this is what I said to people. I think they, yeah, I could see a few nerfs coming. But, like, at the heart of it, the manners cause it because anytime in a RTS like Age of Empires 4, you have something macro economy that is so powerful, it can make anything busted. You know what I mean? Like how people felt about Fulani at one point with Malians. Like, they have crap units, but they zerg so many, it's overwhelming. And obviously, Lancaster, you have some really good units in there mixed in with some questionable units, but you have so much economy so early on. And it's so unharassable. As we're going to
something
find
that we have to mention as well is just this spawn of DeMu here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, gold,
jackpot.
stone, right next to each other. You get the Lancaster Castle in between. Now we're going to see the Manors coming in. They're going to help defend the buildings, like the economy here as well. And I mean, sure, the wood lines are forward, but you're getting wood passively through the Manors. Like 6 Manors, you get like 150, you get like 300 wood per minute passively in with 6 Manors.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's kind of crazy.
Is it? I think it's
like
270
45
or something. Is it 45 per? If I remember correctly. It's a
Yeah.
lot. It's ridiculous. It just starts paying for itself. They go 45 wood.
45. There we go.
I mean, that basically lets you
105
spam
resource
the
per
Omen.
minute.
And like, here's the other crazy thing as well. This build, the other thing that scales really well about it, and I think it's kind of sleeper sometimes. You have to really just put the lens on it. Is the rallying from the Lancaster Castle. The 2 options.
Yeah.
That's what was making it so insane. Still is. The fact that you can get so many cavalry out like that, and then follow it up at max manners with 16 yeomen immediately, and it be profitable, is exactly what we're usually seeing people suffer with. So I am curious to see how Louis Razor wants to try and address this. It looks like it is an FC build from him, just trying to get ahead of the tempo of what DeMu can get. One thing to highlight, those Demi Lancers were nerfed, or Demu Lancers in this game. They have been like crippled slightly because for some reason they had substantially higher charge damage in Feudal Age than was intended. So maybe
They
that
did
will
in
be less
Castle
painful.
Age.
Yeah, I still found that hilarious. Like, we've been upgraded, but for some reason our Lancers don't work very well anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Sometimes these kind of things happen, right? Like, you look at numbers all day, and sometimes you just start turning blind to them. I think that's probably what happened there. But KP, you're a proper Brit. What exactly is that mechanic called? Is it Levi? Is it Levy?
Levy.
Or is it Leviosa?
It's Levy Brosa, because we bring out like our own little Broman, you know? But yeah, oh god, like I was watching, so Mu has started like playing Age of Empires 4. Like, not the Mu you know, the real Mu. The one that like played Dota 2 and made almost $1 million playing Dota 2. And
That's some money.
I can't remember what Leve, or I can't. There was something he pronounced so wrong. I was like, I don't. Even Americans would apologize for this pronunciation. I don't. He'll learn. But we have got that logistics wing, by the way. So yeah, I quite like this one. Growth into Logi is a little bit underrated. Definitely slept on because most people, I feel like, just don't really do growth anymore in feudal unless they're attacking.
It's an interesting play here from Louis. So he's able to get a villager lead early on with the economic wing growth, and now with logistics, he's able to get the passive income as well. Getting 5 relics in, that's 400 gold per minute. If you're also able to get the sacred sites in, you're going to be looking at roughly 700 gold per minute there, just completely passively. With that, you're pretty much able to contest the manors with that passive income. Granted, it's only gold. I say only. Gold is pretty nice to have.
Yeah, but there's the strategy, isn't it? We just stand on the side, we build manjaniques, and we blow all these nicely clumped together buildings, because Demu's been spending way too many hours on City Skyline recently, clearly, up.
That's true. Manjaniques, they're threatening. They're threatening. If you get like 3 in front of your base and you're not able to immediately counteract, they take down buildings fairly quickly. And he's going all the way to 9 manors in feudal age. That's pretty greedy.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. This Civ makes me wish they didn't nerf clown carring. Right? Right?
I wouldn't go quite that far, KP.
You don't
That's
think...
pretty far. You're going pretty far.
Okay, I am going new, but you don't think they... Like, you've played against land cards. Sometimes you don't feel like they deserve to be clown card.
I'll just go second TC, and I think, okay, I'll just die in 20 minutes instead of in 5.
The problem with going second DC is when they build the Lancaster castle next to your base.
That's true. That
What-
can be an
what now?
unfortunate situation.
It is, like, I was talking about the Masters as well. It's kind of crazy, because you pay 300 for a mana, but in terms of for an outpost rush, an outpost costs you 100, fortification costs you 100, and slits cost you 75. So you can either pay that for a full outpost rush, or you can just buy a
Or you
mana.
just go... Yeah.
That pays
Let's
you
just
back.
say it is probably difficult to, I want to say, burger rush House of Lancaster with this many emplacements.
Yeah. I mean, the
They do
trade-off...
also 8 damage instead of 6, right?
They
sure.
do 6. I think it's 6, and then Lancaster Castle does 12. So if we go on a mana, we'll see.
Can we check?
Look, a house that shoots you. Only have to wait until Castle Age
Can we
for
select
this.
a manor? There we go.
Select
No,
one of
that's
them.
too many.
Darling, please.
Just one, please.
Here we go. Just
No, not 9. Just 1.
He's panicking. Crackety, calm down. You're upsetting him.
I'm not mad. I'm just...
Just click once.
Okay, we're looking at the tiers.
There
There we go. It's 8. Look at that.
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's
8
eight. Why
damage.
is
Yeah,
it
you can't
8?
burger
Oh,
rush
God.
them. You can't burger rush them.
I mean, the funny thing
They
is,
shoot through your armor. No problem.
they have more DPS than the castle.
I mean, with all of them, yeah.
No, like individually, because I think they attack almost
Wait,
twice
what?
as quickly as the castle. The castle
Oh,
is
you mean
4
then
seconds.
the Lancaster? Okay.
Yeah,
You
no,
mean the
not
Lancaster.
a normal
Yeah,
castle.
no,
Calm down, you.
Not a normal castle. Yeah. You're putting ideas in my head there, KP. I don't like them.
You know what? They actually like are more powerful than a standard castle in Castle Age, if you're playing Japan. That was a dig at
Yeah.
Japanese players for not having them. We do have King's College, by the way.
Castle in Castle Age.
Yeah, like what the hell? Like you build an Imperial and they look fancy. Like I don't know how you feel about King's College. I almost feel like if it was just the discount, it would still be a decent pickup as a landmark.
I don't know, but just a
15%.
discount then would feel... Yeah, it would feel really underwhelming.
I mean, the alternative is a castle.
Yeah, but the castle that spawns 3 units.
It's true.
AP. That's value. 360 resources immediately that you save. And they also do more damage.
Yeah, and the Olsguard they
They're faster,
spawn
too.
also trained with Leonidas from 300. Have you seen how hard they throw those daggers?
They throw them very hard.
Like you could just they almost just need a voice line like I'm not going to even say the vulgar stuff they say, but it needs to be like, you know, typical yob guy in an English pub who's about to get into a fight when they tell those, because they're powerful. 6.5 tower range on those things, but we're not going to see them.
Yeah.
Because Lancaster really is going through its early day runs like every English player back in 2021 did. What is gold-based units when I have food and wood?
Yeah, Louis the complete opposite to that. He's gonna go for mass camels and archers here.
Against
And I think that's pretty good.
against Billman Yeoman?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing
Yeah.
that scares me here, by the way, and I know Louis knows about it because Louis has been trying to do it a lot. I don't know if DeMu's been experimenting yet. Is Hobilars with King's College and the comp Louis is doing?
Charge is crazy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking is if Louis gets roped into too much archer spam by all the spears, you can just switch like that because that Hill Forts tech is crazy. If we go on the King's College, you'll see it. It basically turns...
Stats are kind of insane.
It is, because it affects bonus damage as well. So your charges on your pony do like 22 damage. And on top of that, like the Hill Fort, what it does is it doubles production rate. So you just vomit out Hobilars, these cheaper hillsmen, instantly.
The thing is, they also do a lot of bonus damage with their charge as well. So the charge against an archer pretty much does like 56 damage in Castle Age.
It does half their health, over half their health. It's
Against
crazy.
Siege as well. Yeah. It's a very stark contrast compared to their normal baseline attack, which is worse than like a normal horseman's. Like Hobblers in Feudal Age, they do like 7 damage compared to 9 from a horseman, and then in Castle Age they do 9. And then their charge suddenly is like 3 times that.
Yeah, I just realized as well mathematically, how's the Lancaster Knights counter Camel Lancers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do bonus damage with
Yeah,
the upgrade. Yeah.
and you can't debuff that, so you lose 5 damage from the Camelones and gain 6, and have more health.
Louis doing it again.
Options.
Splitting up his knights.
Yeah, but there's no point splitting up when there's going to be all these arrows shining down. Look at that synchronized shot on the way, and we do have the Shire Levy, so that is going to be an additional 16 yeomen about to be birthed
We're
out
at
so
38
quickly.
Military.
Yep. And
Now it's gonna be.
if you go,
Now it's gonna be more than 38. Now we're at 56.
I would not want to be
Barely
the
even
count on Sesame Street trying to keep up with that. Good lord.
Oh wait, yeah, never mind. For a second I was like, oh no, the Camel Lancers, they're gonna get stunned. Never mind. This has been in since release. Camel Lancers do not get stunned when they charge into a brace from Spearmen.
Yeah, because like horses are cowards and camels are manly. Like, they
Camels
don't-
are chats, yeah.
yeah, I don't care.
They don't care.
Like they've seen things. okay?
Witness me. Are we
Okay,
also
then.
getting the Demi Lancers in now? Good couple of cavalry units as a front line.
Yeah, just
Never
what,
gonna say no to
11
that.
of them. Yeah, just 11. Not many. Good old Demi Lancers.
Just a couple. A little bit of HP. A little bit of front line.
And Louis has done the right thing. He's prepped for this, by the way. We've got wolves on the wider flanks because these are best used at this stage as raiders. I wonder, does he maybe actually just use them for all in aggro? Because, like, look at the numbers now. This is the thing. And by the way, this is why it's not called a defensive landmark. Lancaster Castle is categorized as a military landmark. That's why.
Military land. That's a good way to put it. That is a good way to put it.
You thought Burgrave was quick.
All right, third Manjanique is coming in. But I think DeMu sees it in time. He sees the Manjaniques.
Wow.
Red
he
shot doesn't do too much damage here.
touched
I
one.
think that's it. He's going to go for the goal.
Oh, the sink shot. Oh, goes straight into the mangoes, but the archers actually do wrong, so a little bit of spread
Multiple
damage.
Oh my god, the healing. There's
Yeah,
so much
and that's the
healing
thing.
going on.
That's the thing, right? Like, if you don't prioritize sink shot into
It's not
one unit,
enough.
it doesn't matter, though.
not enough.
It's just too much,
Goodbye,
melee.
Manjaniques.
Oh.
He's getting overrun.
This is the thing. In case anyone didn't clock it, Lancaster is the new Xerxes. I've seen
You
this
think you
Civ.
can run away with the archers? No, you cannot.
No.
The Yeomen, they're gonna chase you all the way back. And Louis, he's out on the map. He's trying to get resource out on the map. Now DeMu is starting to take back map control.
There's so many spears left, though. Like, this is ridiculous. He's going to try to commit in, but even if you just get touched and the spearman then dies, it means the yeoman can clear you because of the less armor you now have. And this, I mean,
That many spearmen.
this feels pretty cursed. You kill everything but the O's, and now you have nothing left to kill them. Sink shot, nicely dodged by Louis. Ping, doesn't matter here. Because, of course, nowadays, the sink shot is a little bit slower to arrive. But what
Yeah,
is...
they made a lot slower in a good way, and now you can actually dodge it.
And this is the thing, though. What is not going to be slow to arrive, though, are these yeomen. They are Zuma boys. Not the fastest archer in the game, but up there.
And Louis, he's about to run out of food now. He doesn't have enough food to, like, remass all the camel lances that he's made here so far.
I mean, normally you'd say just build Manjaniques, but... against faster moving archers, as long as DeMu's on point with the micro, that's going to be ineffective here.
And you have to pay so much attention now as well, because, I mean, we saw the synchronized shot not doing too much damage against the units, but it will still absolutely obliterate villagers. If DeMu finds, like, a clump of villagers, like they're up on the berries on top side, he could absolutely murder those.
Yeah, I also think, by the way, this is one of the better matchups against Yeoman Spam because of the Dervish heal that we saw in that fight. Because the Sync Shot doesn't really kill as easily anymore, that trickle heal actually saves a lot of lives. And then, unless you're like a micro god, microing, 8 different groups of Yeoman to target different individuals, you're just not going to get bang for buck.
We're spreading wide again. Yeah, I mean, Louis, I'm not sure if he can even think about taking these fights.
He's gonna try. Sync shots again.
So many synchronized shots. This time he even gets a good couple of the archers. Kills the dervish as well. No more healing coming in.
So, like, I don't know if you've noticed it yet, but you can make Lancaster feel like you're playing battleships for your opponent. All you need to do is just cycle one yeoman at a time, shoot several different spots, and then at one point in there, select all, shoot somewhere. They never know which one's going to be the kill shot. DeMu, he's going to be pushed back here again temporarily. And loueMT has done a really good job of rebulking. The archer count is almost mirrored now.
It is. But you still have to be so careful.
I mean,
actually,
no, you're in the stealth forest.
Forward?
Like you literally like can't use your range. You have to see them. Oh no!
Oh my god! Never mind. Never mind. Suddenly, just 8 of these archers die instantly to the synchronized shot.
Oh,
and all this mess that Lucha just built up.
I can't believe that. The positioning on that was outrageous.
Look, his food income. He just pulled a lot of villagers over to the berries once again, but the berries that were at the top side, so his food income is really good now for a little bit. These are the berries at the bottom side, but at the top side, they're still next to the market. There's actually one berry spot that is completely flooded with villagers. But he's getting so much food from that, but it's a finite resource. Grant, we're on Lipany. There's a ton of berries here, but this is gonna end at some point.
Especially
Meanwhile, DeMu, he's fully switched to farms behind this as well.
And also keep in mind, like for DeMu, now, because of the way that Louis done things, the thing that's going to be left for him is deer. Look at where the deer spawned. This is like not a great spawn. Normally having them close together is great, but if you're not going to rush them, this is what the follow-up's going to be. And I think DeMu knows it. This is the camp spot. He just needs to find a way of staying here. And this is the switch that will allow him to do it. Because Lancaster, I don't know if you know this, Crackety, they really like their range units. So much so that even the men-at-arms are range units. Wow.
London subway POV.
They also have the most cursed-looking elite version with the golden hat. It grinds my gears. I don't know if we'll get to see it this game, but I don't know if you've noticed it. Like, it's just differently colored and looks different to the rest of the armor. They look like your classic RPG character who just picked up the thing with the bigger stats. Like, doesn't even match the uniform anymore.
They're a seriously cool unit at the end of the day. Louis, I mean,
yes.
Looking at the
nice shot, and there we go.
DeMu has to be very
plus,
careful. DeMu has to be really careful now. Louis, he's just been remassing the food, still going here. The window still hasn't been reached where, like, DeMu's at a like.
He's not in control, no.
Yeah, Louis still on the finite resources. They're still not the point where he needs to go for transition there.
This is a lot of yeomen going down, and you know this snowball effect, right? You need to be at critical mass, otherwise the sync shot's going to do nothing. You saw actually that many sync shots didn't really kill any of the archer units, and the damage got offset. Honestly, the dervishes are carrying these fights. It's very deceptive, but if you think about the cumulative heal and the difference that's made in units lost and units saved, it really is the difference maker here. I'd wager at this point there's been an extra 20 units that have survived what they should have, if not more. And that's the difference in military.
I would love to have an HP healed counter in the endgame stats.
Oh, I'd love all that. I want units killed for each unit, so I can be like, wow, this knight has earned a field promotion. Or like, you know, healing for monks. I really wish you had those stats. They would be incredible, because this is the perfect example of a game to show someone and say, dervish healing is really ridiculously good. But it's just subtle.
Damn, he's going for quite a few of the Earl's Guards. Now, Earl's Guards, they're interesting as well because of their movement speed. I believe it's also 1.25. So they're a good bit quicker than, like, the normal men-at-arm, yeah. They can actually, like, run after archers. Like, normal archers aren't going to be able to outrun them.
Mm-hmm. And then, obviously, if you just get in range for your first archer shot, they're going to punt a dagger at you that does 3 times the damage. They're a very reasonable unit. Here we go. Dagger counters
got a
camel.
Really big army. Man, this could still definitely swing in Louis' favor here. With the amount of units that he's got out there at the moment, and Siege now coming in as well. Triple Manganique.
Get one good wall up.
He barely has half the archers at the moment.
Yeah, I think like the Manganiques, it's going to be about the hidden factor. You know how you sync shot against him? Well, the Manganiques can be the same factor. If these yeomen see it, they can dodge it. If they can't see anything, they're dead. And something that's worrying me a bit, it looks like DeMu's trying to prep for Imperial Age, while Louis is going for an all-in.
Okay, I think he's about to see it. He sees the army now. He sees the mass. Shoot the stone out cropping.
You didn't see that. It didn't see that. It just a calibration shot.
Are we gonna see like a panic Berkshire? Oh, he's going for the market. He wants to get a keep up or something. But this might be rough now.
And the army is being slowed down with the Manganiques, so it's not exactly the quickest approach for Louis here. He's
he's
balancing.
Yeah,
he's going for it. It's Berkshire. It has to be. There's no way you survive a Wingard.
Yeah. Where is it? It's on the gold. Oh, it's such a long range there as well. That might actually still hit. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the damage from the Yeoman scales with age, not with elite upgrade or veterancy. I was going to see the age up. 26 on that, though.
If he just the Manganiques in range, you can't complete this, surely. The Camelancers, they're going to head on in. Villagers fully committed. Sing shot. He realized the desperation. The dive in, a big hit there. Takes down about 10, but the Manganiques
suddenly
won't be just as hard. Berkshire is up. You can't stare anymore. Louis needs to back away. DeMu, what just happened to this military count?
Louis got baited into the fight in a situation, in a choke point where the synchronized shot just did so much damage. Siege out of position as well.
Forces his hand, and now those... Also, keep in mind, those boyos with the daggers, the Osgard, they just got their damage buffed automatically with that keep drop. Yeoman upgrade now on the way. loueMT is trying to muster the resources for his own Imperial Age, but there's no doubt about it. Tempo just fully swinged.
We're about to be getting 9 times 40 gold per minute for DeMu as well, passively through the Manors in a little bit.
Woo-wee. And that should get him all the upgrades he needs, and Incendiary Arrow is probably not going to be far behind this. Those Yeomen now posing a true threat with the elite tech upgrades. I mean, for Louis, there's not many good choices left. He goes for Master Smiths.
Master Smiths, okay.
Wow. Does he already have Military Academy? Because if so, this feels bad. Oh, no, don't walk back into it.
That was an additional 10 units just going down like that.
Crackety, what is Master Smiths for? He doesn't have an army.
Not anymore. He's prepping into mass horsemen, but there's still spearmen and the Earl's Guards.
And those elite yeomen look fabulous. I wish I could pull off a scarf like that.
Have a fancy tailor.
Oh, yes. These guys still look budgeted. So, decap on the Sacred Site and now dive towards the base. I mean, we're still a minute and 15 away from Master Smiths.
Mind you, one of these players got 4 landmarks, the other has 2. One of the landmarks is a keep, by the way. I don't think Louis can go for too crazy of a dive.
So you're saying it's a base race?
It might be a base around, inside of Louis' base.
Oof. Funds any wood gathering efforts over there. At least he did vacate early, but... I mean, these yeomen are just going to send it. There's really nothing to fear. I think it's quite obvious to DeMu now that there's a tech happening. Otherwise, surely you'd see some semblance of a stand ground moment from Louis. Backstab is coming on the main army, though. Okay, that's sick. Look what Louis is doing. Yeah, with the stone wall. He tries to bait him away from the base.
Has himself a little bit of time. At least he's getting all the upgrades in immediately. When it comes to the blacksmith, at least. It's a lot of resources, a lot of tempo that he can gain, but at the moment, he's only got half the military.
There's bigger problems as well. Like, the biggest, most important tech here is about to tick in. It's one that makes these yeomen unkillable. Plus 3 armor. On spears, on yeomen. Like, You know, this is the thing I think you could have taken away. Why are they getting made? Why we had this with all the Tries, Crackety. We still have it with them.
Not that there's a unit where this really matters. Like
not right now.
Matchup here. Yeah,
I mean the horsemen a little bit. Oh god!
Okay.
No, please keep running. Keep running.
Oh, the farm transition. I found out.
I just realized playing against Lancaster like this is it's almost like you're at a disco where you're not allowed to stop dancing 24/7. Oh god!
Of dancing, there. These soldiers just dance for a little bit too long.
But
now
wait, where?
As well.
Where are they running? Where are they running?
Where are they
because
running?
If DeMu just goes into the base, he might lose the army, but he'll kill all this.
Could kill literally all of it, yeah. It's not going for it at the moment.
No, I think maybe he doesn't know what's back there, right? Maybe there's a keep, or maybe there's walls. Maybe he just wants to keep pressure. Oh
god!
Units
and
down.
he moved back into it. Oh, that's an additional -10, like every time it happens. So
It's
many
only
units going
45
down.
seconds away from happening again. Oh, good lord. I don't know where the horsemen are off to. They're like, this is not a fair fight. We'll be back when you figured this one out. And that's it. That's enough. He does it. DeMu with a firm hold. A game that is back and forth and a series that promises to deliver as we now have both players scoring on the board.
Series evened up, and look at this fancy stats we got here once again. Louis, high APM, and there was a solid timing, but DeMu, with the clever market there, buys himself up to Imperial Age. I think that fight, honestly, if it went any worse, that could have been a snowball situation where DeMu could have lost the game from there on out.
Oh, absolutely. And it's the elegance of using that skill shot. You know, this is what I like about Sync Shot. Like, some people aren't going to like that it was capable of doing that, but it reminds me of tactical waddle-laws. You know, where you see someone's trying to retreat and you waddle-law behind them so they can't run that way anymore. Same concept here. How do you get the most value out of Sync Shot? Quite often, it's actually forcing your opponent into mistakes, like rushing towards you on your buildings, or forcing a retreat into a choke point. Now, with the tweaks they've made, the delay on arrival, the changes to damage, I think what you have is an expressive skill shot that requires setup and isn't just a pay-to-win key.
Requires... yeah, I mean, you definitely need to have a lot of them. And we can see it here. Like, this was one of the earlier fights where we see a lot of the units just taking a ton of damage here. It doesn't do anything against the siege. And here, just so many of these plus symbols, the healing being in full effect, meaning that Sync Shot didn't really do too much in this fight. But DeMu just had too many units from the levying there very early on, getting just a ton of backline, a ton of frontline there as well.
And this was my feeling on it, like we were talking about earlier. The thing that, at the heart of it, enables this Civ to get away with outrageous things more than anything, I don't think it's even the skill shot. I think maybe you could say to a certain degree it's the mana, but it's the Lancaster Castle's ability to allow you to be greedy, safely, and then give you an army instantly.
Yeah. It is definitely like one of those situations where you're getting rewarded military-wise for booming. Which in itself is kind of like a weird situation to have happen, like a weird mechanic to have happen. I like the idea behind it, but maybe it's a little bit overtuned here and there.
Well, the syncy shots, I think, like, I like the idea of what these type of things are bringing to the game.
The levying, like scaling
the levying, yes.
with the amount of manors.
The levy is... it's just too many units. I don't know, like... I think if Lancaster Castle wasn't doing what it was doing for manors, it would be fine. Because then you'd be like, oh, he's just rushing manors, I'll dive him. It's like, then it's no different to someone be like, I'm going to have 4 TCs and then build 15 racks. It's like, yeah, but you've got 4 TCs, you womble, I'm going to shoot you. But we've talked about it. The manors are just too good at keeping you alive. They're too hard to dive. I don't know why they get more health from the Lancaster Castle as well. It's an insane investment to kill one of those.
Yeah. They're just so tanky. It's kind of absurd. Like, you have to commit so much to killing them. At least when you're up against Malians and they got their cattle, it's relatively fine trying to kill them. But against Manors, you need to have quite the force. We're gonna take a quick look here at our bracket.
What?
Look at that. Valdemar leading up against Lucifron. Beastie and CSO currently tied 1-1.
That's incredible. Well played to Valdemar. You know, Lucifron's the type of player that, I don't know about you, I have him kind of pegged to be one of Voldemar's kryptonites because Lucifron really thrives on this gradual build-up off of raiding while getting like a macro exploitative advantage. And Voldemar, I think we agree, like, usually feels like an orderly player. He's definitely tried to change his playstyle in recent times, gave a little bit of divergence to his early game play, and I guess it's paying off a little bit, but not enough. We just got an immediate score update. It is 1-1 in that series as well. So every series so far at 1-1.
Voldemar, he's the kind of player where sometimes, like, he's in a really good spot. He can just take his time, but then he puts on the diving goggles and then he dives deep and loses all of his army.
I think he's feeling the pressure because when I was casting a really, really clowny game between Giving Anxiety and Aveline on my channel yesterday, he came in and it was something along the lines of, what is this 8 play? So, you know, it's got to be careful. We'd have to talk about his. And wow. Yeah, look at that. Mia Micro and Anatan. And I'm telling you, like, Miyamika, you've seen it.
Miyamika, he's so wild. I absolutely love it. It used to be the case that Miyamika, he's the kind of guy, zero macro, absolutely zero macro, but he just throws his head against the wall time and time again. He uses insane raiding and micro to win games. And now more and more and more, like the macro follows suit. He starts off with insane micro, but now the macro kind of starts building on the more experience he gains. And now he's a very, very threatening player.
It's funny because at the heart, when you watch him, a lot of his strategies are still what people consider cheese. But he takes the cheese to the extreme. You know, like when you see someone cheese an RTS, it's like, oh man, that's like a really repugnant like pile of like really strong, you know, mature cheddar or something. This guy's got the mature cheddar. He's got the red Leicester. He's got the blue cheese. He's got the feta. Like the dude is a full cheese merchant, is what I'm getting at. You never really expect the level of potency he brings. It's phenomenal to watch. And honestly, he's been one of my favorite players to watch in the last few months. And, you know, I've watched him in the weeklies take games off top 8 players on a semi-frequent basis. So definitely never write him out. But this is a fun map, Rackety. I think Enlightened Horizon has actually become my favorite map of the expansion.
I'm still kind of torn on Enlightened Horizon. I'll have to say, sometimes it just feels really weird having barely any distance to your opponent.
Yep.
Especially when it comes to Castle Age, when you get trebuchets. We'll have to see how exactly it's gonna play out between these two. We're jumping into a game number 3 now. loueMT in the color green playing as the Ottomans, up against DeMu playing the Japanese, color purple.
A map of Dark Age tempo, folks. We are talking about the newly improved Enlightened Horizon, not just the merchant camps that you want to pick up to generate resources, but now also the wolf dens, where you can anger the wildlife by stealing their pennies. I don't know why wolves keep 150 gold in their den, but they do. And this is an important detail in this matchup. Ottomans and Japanese, 2 incredibly efficient civs at going for those early Raxes, and both Louis and DeMu are committing.
Hey, yeah, I mean, I like the idea from Japanese to maybe just wait until Feudal Age and then get Honor Geisha out, because with Honor Geisha, you can do some very nice stuff when it comes to having Ottomans out on the map, trying to kill the wolves with spearmen, where the spearmen aren't actually that good against wolves. Like, you need a lot of them. And then the Honor Geisha just being so quick that you just absolutely steamroll them.
The problem is you don't need to kill the wolves. You just need to kill the den. So, like, I like where your head is at, because I'm a big Honor Geisha fan. Like, the moment that Civ was announced, I talked about that unit the most. I thought it was very unique. I thought it had a lot of potency and feudal potentially. The problem is, by the time you be feudal here, both of those wolf dens would be gone. And your opponent would be 300 gold better off. And also, he'd have 2 merchant camps for like 3 or 4 minutes, right? So it's a bit tricky. I think I got to give a lot of credit, actually, to the devs to a point of interest. I think, in my opinion, they're a success, and they should be like added more and expanded more. Because one thing that you're seeing with some of these, like Enlightened Horizon, probably the best map to example this right now, is Dark Age actually matters. Building units in Dark Age is actually worth doing.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't played too much Enlightened Horizon yet. I've played against a couple of people that did Dark Age aggression there. Maybe it's better than I initially thought, especially since they changed the wolves a little bit with...
Yeah. With the wolf dens there, like, it's 300 gold that you can claim in the first 3.5 minutes. It's a lot.
Yeah, okay, this makes a lot of sense now. Look what Louis is doing. He's luring away the wolves.
Because the wolves are worthless. Like, I think the wolves maybe need to be changed a bit. Like, maybe just give 5 gold, because the play right now is you run over, you set on fire. Don't call him a noob. He's done it right. Louis doesn't have to kill. He just got the 150 gold. It's not for the kill. It's for the burn. So now he rotates over. Meanwhile, DeMu, he's built more spearmen, but he's notably slower here.
Yeah, he's not moving out at all right now. I'm not sure if he just doesn't know where the spearmen are or what his opponent's doing. He's instead going for the caravan point of interest.
I wonder, maybe, so his concern might be if they're both blobbing spearmen, he'll lose, because Ottomans have the vizier points, right? So they get imams and you just can't beat them. So maybe that's...
He's missing the timing.
Yeah, I think he got paranoid he needed more troops, and he didn't realize just how efficient Louis was going to be. And this is so clean from the Chinese player.
That's really nice to see. Like, Louis definitely prepped this, which I guess is a lot harder for DeMu to do, since most of the time whenever plays, he streams, and it's usually on ladder. I'm not sure if you don't have a lot of control when it comes to which maps you want to play on ladder.
Yeah, I mean, it's a balanced choice, right? Like, you can try to get the scrim partner going. I know Beastie was like scrimming with Anatan on stream yesterday. So like, you can make that choice, but it's hard because, let's say you phone up Marine Lord, you're like, yo, what, you wanna? He's gonna say no. He's like, I don't want you to stream my strategies. Those are my secrets, brother. We can't reveal those. So I kind of feel for him a little bit. And we have to remember, Enlightened Horizon is a recent alteration. The inclusion of the trade posts and the wolf dens. It wasn't how this map was originally released.
Yeah. Now the economy from Louis, it's looking very, very solid. It's getting archery range in as well. Grant, he doesn't have any military schools yet, but yeah, I mean, 300 gold for Louis.
What do you build
I'd
now?
love to see that for him.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad he done that. Like, the ninjas are worthless here.
Yeah. You
Like,
don't need ninjas.
Yeah, your opponent's already feudal. He's going to have access to archers. So, dare I say you just have to go fast castle? But, like, do you want to go fast castle on...
Against Ottomans?
Not just against Ottomans. Check his base is gold. Remember, Enlightened Horizon is baby gold. You don't have a lot. It runs out fast.
Yeah, but you got 2 times baby gold at least in the back of your base.
Yeah, look how far away it is.
By comparison, yeah. Grant, at the moment, DeMu has more troops. The idea is that maybe both players want to go for fast castle age. The issue with that is always that Ottomans get like the best unit in the game against cavalry baseline in castle age. Janissaries are kind of wild. They're really, really wild with just how strongly they counter cavalry.
Also,
while
specifically,
being a ranged backline.
And specifically Mount Samurai, like against that, they're better than Stan Hankan is because they're better attack speed, right? You get rid of deflective and then you hit them. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is even earlier, like this is a matchup that if you try to just rush castle as Japanese, it comes down to the map a little bit, but it's very feasible for Ottomans to all-in you if they just start flooding Sapai in feudal. They can literally stop you the moment you reach castle. The alternative is, as you said, he just mirrors and he's no worse off. He's already ahead economically and militarily. And do you really want to be adding in new units here as Japan?
Might have to. Granted, Louis right now, he's playing it a little bit slower. He is adding in his first military school now.
I don't think
So
he
it's
can go...
villagers and stones, so it's going to add more.
Yeah, I don't think you can go Yumi here, right? Yumi did just get buffed, 10% buff to their cost, but against meta...
I mean, they're really nice.
Yeah, but against
Yumi are
meta...
still... Granted, you can kind of like kill the meta really quickly if you got enough Yumi. And they're also a lot faster than normal archers.
It's true.
Can kind of like dictate when you want to fight, when you want to take fights with them.
It would definitely be a raise in strategy, because obviously you have the double ranged upgrades, your damage is like 50% gone. And then your opponent, it's not like he's not building units alongside it, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I know you have opinions about things like the Sapahi. Like it's one of the best calves in the game. Do you really want to be building the counter to kind of encourage your opponent?
The Sapai is such a weird unit because by its lonesome, it's fine, right? But then you combine it with Janissaries, and you got yourself a full army composition. Then you add in the free siege, and it's a 2-unit full army composition that your opponent needs at least 3 different units to play against.
And he's going Ona Bugeisha.
I like that. I like Bugeisha.
I think this is just to buy some time, not a long commitment, because you can see the
Might be.
macros for castle, right?
Yeah,
it has to
100%.
be. Speedball is going to waste enough time. Bugeisha should arrive. And I mean, the Bugeisha will do reasonably against the Sapahi also. One problem you do have here is the meta, though.
Yeah, meta kind of takes down a Bugeisha and halves its value, pretty much. You lose out on 2 damage there with it, with the bonus +2 melee armor from the meta aura.
What is
Against
that?
a unit that relies on, like, low but quick attack damage.
Yeah. It's ridiculously effective. It's why in the early days, like, my mind was blown when I just saw how good meta was. I think out of all the civs in the game, the meta might be best against Japanese. Like, you
Yeah.
don't really ever see a Japanese player trying to play feudal against this.
It's the reason why this matchup in general just feels really, really tough on Japanese in general. Just when it comes to, okay, what type of units do you make? Because one way or the other, you are going to get forced into Yumi archers. But no matter what you do, it never feels good.
Yeah, what's also crazy about Yumi is, like, you'd think, oh, wow, it's bonus against Janissaries to be good there. But the more I think about it, I think it's kind of the worst matchup because usually the thought process is Yumi can trade well into things like hand cannoneers because they overkill you. But Janissaries, as we mentioned earlier, the lower base damage, faster attack speed. So they don't overkill as much. Even Yumi can feel a bit weird. Yeah. Will be stables beginning though, so pretty much the expected here. What DeMu might not have been expecting is loueMT is going to be cruising at exactly the same time up with military schools as well.
I mean, kind of expected just from how much Louis wasn't investing.
I think you maybe expect him to delay a bit more because the units is built, but this goes back to, I think, the camps, right? Like, DeMu built 9 spears, Louis built 4, and then Louis got 300 gold, DeMu got nothing extra compared to Louis because they both split the merchant camps.
I mean, for a while, DeMu had the merchant camp, I want to say, like, for 2 minutes. He had, like, control over 2.
Yeah.
But then Louis also had control over DeMu's merchant camp for, like, a solid minute. And Louis, not going for mangonels, immediately goes for Springles. Great play up against the Honor Geisha. Like, Honor Geisha barely do any damage to Springles. On the other hand, they get absolutely shredded by them.
And the whole thought here is, for DeMu to win this fight, it's going to need to kind of zerg you. Also, choke point defenses. I mean, if you just look at Enlightened Horizon, one of the enlightening things is just how campy the start point is. But yeah, I really want to give the devs a shout out compared to, say, Forts, which I think had big building issues and camp issues because you had too much resources. With these small gold veins, you are forced to come out your safe place really quickly.
And now that Twitch chat mentions it, DeMu, he's missing berry spawn.
Oh. As Japan... Oh, no.
That's...
Is this
very
still
unfortunate.
happening?
He still has the deer, yeah. I mean, they made the berries not spawn inside of your base. But it doesn't fix the issue of berries just sometimes not spawning at all.
That's unfortunate. So rulings is, if DeMu identified that, he could have called for a remake in the first 3 minutes, but I don't think you're usually thinking about berries that quickly as Japan. At least not the secondary berries, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit rough.
And a single Sapahi, that's going to force a reaction. Well, actually, a single Sapahi, if he pops Fortitude, the villagers are going to do a lot of damage against him.
The whole villager force is now partying with this one Sapahi. He will find a kill. And should be able to get away. I mean, this... I wonder if DeMu could have maybe protected himself just with shivs, but obviously, like, we have God Vision. From DeMu's POV, he's blind. There could be anything standing behind that first Sapahi.
Yeah. It's very tough to judge. Louis just going into mass spearmen, passively produce Springles, Sapahi as well.
He can passively produce into Trebs eventually here. It's a pretty solid play on this map.
The thing is, like, Louis, all the units that he makes right now, except the Sapahi, you kind of need, like, range units. And this is the tough part, right? Like, you need so many different units.
Yeah.
In this matchup, as Japanese against our opponent, you need a lot of them as well. It's very difficult. DeMu is getting a couple good villager kills here now. 2 going down already. Might also find a Springle kill here. Very nice.
He can get both of them.
Maybe 2.
Yeah. And he can get out as well. I don't think there's enough troops here to body block him, no. Yeah, beautifully done. Okay, maybe not. We kind of walked the wrong way, but there is an exit route here. Great trade. Meanwhile, elsewhere, relics are getting hoovered right now by DeMu. Finally get stopped.
He was working hard on that.
I gotta give credit where credit is due here. I think, like, Ben, for how rough this matchup is meant to be, and actually how clean Louis' start is, nowhere near as dead as you'd expect at this stage.
Yeah, and DeMu who is making the switch now into Yumi archers.
Very efficient unit these days to bulk up, and he kind of just needs numbers. You can see what's happening here. This has turned into a little bit of a zerg now from Louis. Spear Sapahi, basically whatever's cheapest.
Yeah, get a big mass of units going. Granted, right now DeMu could actually go back into mass on a Bugeisha. Still hurts a lot when you're up against a meta, but
it's also the Springle problem maybe in his mind. because
It's gonna build up again, the sprinkled numbers.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, gonna be up there again. There's so many Sapai just from the military schools now.
I think the issue for DeMu and why he needs to worry about the sprinkles, like normally you actually own a Brigatia feel good against sprinkles because the movement speed to gap close, but look at Louis' army size. If you try to run around him and dive onto siege, he'll just stand on it. Like that's literally the
Now
intent.
also getting upgraded. Yeah, this is a fearsome army.
What are we looking at
DeMu,
vizier
he's-
point wise?
The
'Cause I think-
archers make sense against the spears, but they just cannot deal with the Sapai.
Okay, I don't know if you really go for the advanced academies. I don't know if you really need to start producing Janissaries at all.
Oh, it's not
Or
about producing Janissaries.
knights.
They combined them with the faster creation speed.
True, yeah, okay, yeah, so we'll eventually get it. But this
Yeah.
count's getting ridiculous. I mean, it's 41 to 22, and you have to remember DeMu's quality of that 22 is very questionable at this phase.
It's not really existence. It's Yumi archers, right? Like that's not quality. That's the opposite of quality.
Hey, that Yumi Bannerman has good stats, okay, Crackety?
Oh god.
You just got
Damn,
tank
he
with
realized
him.
immediately, but what's
don't
the
know.
answer gonna be now?
Louis doesn't realize how much of a freebie that was. He can't
Yeah,
see that there's
he
nothing
could
behind
absolutely
it.
take this fight, but maybe he's gonna turn around at any moment now.
Smile away, boys. Smile away. If he comes back for the Shinto.
Oh, absolutely, he's gonna.
He's got it, right?
Look at
yeah,
that. Yeah, there he goes. And now he also sees, wait, that's not even that many units. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now he takes the fight.
He's like, alternate religion in my country? An army in my country? We're fixing that. And oh, no, DeMu, no, not like this.
Oh, there's no Pierce armor. There's no Pierce armor.
There's no
It's
counterplay.
missing completely.
He gets rid of the meta. The kite is actually pretty good here from DeMu. He's getting reinforcements in, so now it becomes
no
a bit...
Pierce armor saves the day.
Wow, I can't
That's
believe
crazy.
that. That is...
That's crazy, man.
I don't think Louis realized he didn't have Pierce armor. Like, he must be
He
looking
must not
afterwards and going, wait, what? How did Sabai lose that? Someone's gonna clip and ship that and say, Yumi need enough. Killing horsemen? Imba unit.
That's crazy, man. Too strong. They buffed it too much.
Discounts
Now the
and
unit's
this
Imba.
damage? Please buff Ottomans will be the other line that comes in that post.
New post
Okay,
on Reddit. I made only horsemen and I died to only Yumi archers. Please fix.
So I kind of like, I kind of want to see a game that gets balanced just solely off of Reddit feedback threads.
Oh no, you don't.
For the K, for the K, and then I want to see one like, is 4chan still a thing? We need
Man,
these
Louis behind
social
us got
experiments.
3 relics in now.
And there we go, Advanced Academy in. This might just be the type of game where you go for the Great Bombard.
I mean, at one point you always go for it. I feel like at this
Yeah.
point in the meta, it's just so good against infantry, and
It's also
very
you-
tough to get to. Like fights take long in Castle Age.
It's also, you just look at your other options and nothing is actually that desirable. I wish they changed that a little bit. I don't know. I guess you could say the Great Bombard resolution is kind of epic if you reach it. But I do feel like right now, and you can argue like metas come in and there's a linearness that will always happen, but I think the Vizier point system is quite linear past the first 2 points now.
Yeah, I mean, there were some cool attempts with the Akinji and whatnot, but I think the positioning of the points, just where they are, don't align with when you want to get them.
Agreed. Like, Akinji almost feels like it needs to be a tier 1 Vizier point.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be too good.
Maybe. Akinji is weird because in like low numbers they already become incredibly strong. Like you only need 3 Akinjis to start one-shotting villagers.
Yeah. Agreed. It's like, I was making the same comments recently about Lancaster's Earlsguard. Like, Earlsguard's dagger throw doesn't feel that good in a big fight. But if you rush castle, I mean, 3 daggers kills a villager. And well, a lot of pokey sticks will also kill villagers.
Oh,
DeMu,
and the relics.
he knows what he wants. And he will not be denied.
He's gonna get them. 2
Look, wait.
relics, he's gonna get them all.
Yeah, because DeMu's nowhere near here. He went for the sacred sites.
Oh no, he's so far away now from the fight, and still, military-wise, like looking at it, 38 Yumi archers.
He's going to lose so much more.
There's
This is a
so
full
many
dive now.
supply, and now men-at-arms as well. He's just burning the farms. Get
The
the value out.
hilarity is that he's burning the farms with the spears, and the Sipahi are killing the spears. Oh, that rally point.
Okay, now he's killing the ones on the just gonna
Yeah,
regenerate.
yeah. Louis needs to be reminded he's not playing Mongols right now. That might happen later. Dive coming in towards the gold as well. This man is just everywhere. DeMu's going on the counter-offensive, though. He's moving towards Louis' economy. He's about to find him out on the food sources.
Villagers?
Quick reaction. Let's get away. There's a wrap on the north side that's going to hit the tree line of DeMu. Like, this is overwhelming at this stage. There's only so many fires you can put out at once.
Yeah, and only so many garrison spots that you have at the end of the day. Right, and there's so many Springles now. 6 Springles all of a sudden. DeMu is going to find a good amount of villager kills here, though, potentially.
What is that split?
No, they're getting away.
They're running out of the base right now. DeMu, the retreat pattern will get you the kills. Oh, mate, this is painful to watch. It's just such a messy game. Beautifully done.
After Springles. Oh, no.
Good luck with that, though. I just don't think it works. He's lining
he's
up.
going sideways.
He's lining
yeah, it's
up.
over. GG comes in. Dude, Ottomans, Louis Ottomans,
He's a monster.
So threatening. Yeah.
He is the boogeyman. Like, to me right now, we said it before we came on the broadcast. I'll say it publicly now. loueMT, if not best, the second best Ottoman player in the game. Like, this is his sieve. He's a brutal master when wielding the Ottomans.
Yeah. The army composition, man, it's something that you don't usually see. Like, who just goes out of their way and is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make horsemen and spearmen as Ottomans.
It's so obtuse. And by the way, the other player I referenced that I think is top was B. We were talking about this behind the scenes. He does the same thing with other civs as well. Like, I've noticed it recently. A few players have started to just get Castle Age and they blob horsemen and spears. They truly value the quantity over quality, even when they have things like heavy cav available.
Yeah. I want to also, like, give a favorable mention there, like, honorable mention to CSO, who plays a lot together, like, with Louis, I believe. I'm not sure if they do actively scrim together, but they used to, like, play a lot of team games with each other. Grant, they're even in the same team, Team Elephant. So I imagine there is a lot of exchanging when it comes to information. And those two are just absolutely insane when it comes to Ottomans.
Yeah, you have, so, like, usually the scrim circle there is Louis, CSO, and Scarlet Devil, who also tend to play 3v3s together. So it all kind of fits. I think what's impressive about them is actually just how sweaty they are on the team ladder while also being this good in 1v1.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? Like, CSO, he's very often, like, not on the radar of people, but the dude actually, like, very often beats Louis in their scrims.
Yeah, I think I've highlighted that he's, the way I describe it is he's the kryptonite. It's very weird to watch because I think, you know, CSO won't mind me saying, when you look at a lot of his other matchups with some of the top 10 players, doesn't usually historically look close at all. It feels like he's just a step behind, but you can tell they practice together regularly because it's almost like he knows the exact timing when Louis is doing something greedy or something you shouldn't, and always finds a way to punish it. But DeMu, despite the fact that 50% of his ladder queue is against Louis, not really able to crack that Ottoman shell. And now, to make his last stand, potentially, we've got Dry Arabia, Shushi Byzantines. Krakody, did you know that Byzantines got nerfed?
Well, you certainly wouldn't know it from looking at their win rates. Actually, maybe you do. Depends on which elo you look at. Because, like, yeah, some in some elo brackets, people adapt quickly. In some, they don't adapt at all.
Yeah, I got tricked on this because I read the patch notes live on stream, and then I pulled up my own tournament and checked the win rate, and Byzantines was like 20%. I was like, yeah, but in fairness, this is where the professional caster skills come in, Krakody. We backpedal. In fairness, the reason the win rate sucked when they made that nerf originally is because you had to adapt your build order drastically at the start of the game. And that has a huge ripple effect trying to figure out permutations again, right? I actually think the new system structuring is a buff. I don't think it was a nerf at all.
Yeah,
it's just a different one.
It's slower at the beginning, but it ramps up incredibly quickly. Yeah,
my theory was that the second mercenaries would be slightly slower, but after that it'd be better. The reality check was the pros builds almost immediately were getting their second mercenary pump quicker than the old build.
Yeah.
So you miss your 6 minutes timing, but your 8 minute timing is better. I don't know. Sounds like a jackpot to me.
Next up, Zhuji and DeMu. I think there's not a player that has spammed more Bold Monks than the Bold Man himself.
I'm
not sure if we got to see them here. I don't think DeMu would go for them just because, like, there's so much going, like, riding on this game, right? Still, like, something just nags there at the back of my head. I'm like, maybe we still see the Bold Man spam.
I think the game has to be hyper deep, and then maybe, because then it's just like your premium limitane, right? You make your body iron, and then you beat someone with a stick. It's just better. But every time DeMu picks Shushi, I just get flashbacks to a game he had against Lash, where he literally had his son in his lap. He'd already won the game, but Lash didn't GG. So he just had his son in his lap. He's like, and now
does that.
Daddy's going to build all the bald boys. And now we're going to build all the ponies. He was just having fun. And I think that's the thing that puts a smile on my face. I feel like whenever DeMu's playing Shushi, win or lose, that Civ just seems to be the embodiment of fun for him. So let's see if we can have a fun one here. Game number 4. To Dry Arabia we go. loueMT in the green is the Byzantines. Team Liquid's DeMu on that Shushi in the purple. Shushi, I gotta say, like, I think it has become his signature Civ in my eyes.
Zhuji, it's one of those civilizations where when the variant civilizations came out, Zhuji played vastly different compared to China. Then we went into the Pro Scout meta, and suddenly Zhuji was basically China, or rather China suddenly played like Zhuji in that regard, with everybody just going for Pro Scouts. I think still Zhuji is a civilization that can really shine, or like make their uniqueness shine in prolonged feud late age games when you actually get to a situation in certain matchups where you want to go for palace guards, early palace guards.
It's an interesting transition for us because one of the big things I kind of hit on with Pro Scouts meta and why it was so oppressively weird is that in Age of Empires 4, there's almost just like a fluid logic of you build something, and I can, early on, expect that you are going to build this type of unit out of it so I can prep a counter. But Pro Scouts broke that philosophy, right? Like, if you built stables, it didn't mean you were building horsemen at all. It meant you were building Pro Scouts, and, like, I don't have this fluid counter of, yes, this is the way to beat it. It muddied things, and I like that you bring up Palace Guard because they do the same thing, same as Men at Arms. It muddies what should be a simplistic build order, and this is anything but simple. I wondered if he was doing it with the racks opening. It's not about denying Pro Scouts by killing the Scouts. This has been something that B has done more than anyone else in the last 2 weeks, I want to say. Louis has been up there as well. Everyone's catching on. If you want to stop Pro Scouts, the play is Dark Age Spearmen, get your deer off the map, and then go and camp their deer.
It is a very interesting mechanic, or rather a very interesting development after the Pro Scout meta. It truly makes this like so unique, like how players' ingenuity just comes in and they're like, oh yeah, Pro Scouts, that's been nerfed. Well, we just delay our feudal age a little bit and we get Pro Scout at home. It's a very micro-intensive Pro Scout, but these players, they got the micro for it. And now DeMu goes up with the Meditation Garden. That's a pretty good spot. 50 stone per minute, roughly 40 food per minute, and then a wood line right next to it as well. We're looking at at least 110 resource per minute Meditation Garden here. Very nice.
Agreed. 36 on the
Still
food.
Not as good as Dome of Faith.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not like we're Holy Islanding here, right? Like, we haven't broke any record, but I don't know. I've always said this about DeMu. He always finds a way to get those 100 plus on Dry Arabia when most players can't anymore. And here we go. This is the value, by the way. The reason it used to be people tried this with 2 spears, and I mean, you know this. It just got really clunky.
Oh, he misclicked. Wait, no, is he misclicking?
I think
he's just killing them now.
Yeah, because he's going to Grand Winery on the left.
Oh yeah,
there.
Grand Winery next to it.
Wait, where are you going, Bambi? This isn't.
You gotta be so careful with that. You don't want to potentially like block the angle where you want to drop the Grand Winery.
Agreed. My favorite one is like I had a game where a guy actually done that. He was getting ready to drop the landmark. And then I think it was High Trade House. And then he just killed all the deer. I was like, oh no. But yeah, Tech Up's going to be coming through soon. Louis, it should just be standard Grand Winery. I don't know if he really takes the deer. Like, this is one of the weird things. It's nice to deny Pro Scouts away. He's actually going to eat it. the time being. But I imagine we'll switch over straight away because, like, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
You feel bad about not getting olive oil as a Sith. It feels horrible.
100%. But eventually, you're still gonna have to go for transition period. And when you got the deer available, then at that point in time, that's when Byzantines become just really, really fearsome. When it gets to that flood in Castle Age, you just pump out units nonstop. Byzantines, like they pump out units like no other civilization. Something that I want to highlight, though, I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier when it came to the early palace guards. So Byzantines, they like to go for longbows in a lot of matchups, either longbows or javelin throwers. And they like to also go for a lot of Limitani, or Limitane. The issue with that is always, like, you want to go horsemen, but it becomes very difficult for the horsemen to engage due to all the spearmen being there. Palace guards don't have that issue. They can just dive. Now, they do a little bit less damage, but they take a lot less from the spearmen and overall just survive a lot longer. And they're much more valuable when you get up to Castle Age.
Yeah. Now the interesting thought about that is, like, Louis is a very big fan of Limitane longbow horsemen. I don't know if he's going to do it in this matchup. Like, in theory, it kind of gives you that blob and also the flexibility to block Palace Guard.
There it is. There's the barracks. I think we're going to see it.
I mean, I think he was one of the first people to really start doing this at, like, the high level, where you go maybe 3 to 5 PG, not necessarily more, but like enough to force a reaction, and then you bypass to the better age 3.
Yeah.
Boom. Nicely read.
Is Louis still busy? I think Louis is still busy luring the deer at the top side there.
Yeah, he's sending him off.
It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna be worth it.
It's not like we've got anything else to do.
Yeah, it's early game, right? Nobody does like Dark Age or very early few late
sweet innocent Louis. Look at this. He's like, it's not enough that I get my own deer. You can't have yours. I feel like this makes it obvious what you're actually doing. You know, like in what world was DeMu thinking of deer shoving? He does get conf on the Palace Guard early though, so that's pretty nice info. That likely pushes you towards.
Wait, you too?
Let me just see if that's in the neutral trade post. If I can, maybe. I mean, do you just go longbows here? I think you go longbows.
100%. I think longbows are just genuinely such a great unit when you're up against a civilization that has Palace Guards, mainly because Palace Guards less armor. And, well, guess what? Longbows more damage, more range. Sure, they're a little bit slower, but when you're in a situation where your archers, which are meant to not counter heavily armored units, suddenly do counter them, very nice to have.
Another interesting thing about this build, by the way, Louis never went onto the stone. There's no mining camp over there. So this isn't your standard cistern rush that we've been seeing from most players on the ladder.
Oh, looks like the deer were a little bit wild there.
Come back, sir. You're meant to be following me. Oh, no. It's okay.
If he kills the spearman now, the deer are going to run all the way back. I think Louis has to kill him.
No, this is the strategy. This is the big brain strategy. He spread the deer so wide, you can't harass him with 1 PG. He has got an outpost coming up. I mean, the deer are pretty much home. DeMu needs to try and just make that messy now.
Just don't kill them. Just don't kill the deer.
Oh my god, the villager rush of this. Okay, so we'll get
He
it up.
activated the ability. Acrotoid defense has come in. Palace Guard suddenly not doing that much damage anymore to them.
He hasn't killed any of the deer.
Not yet, and slowly
He's
but
still
surely,
pushing.
nature is healing.
No, it's not.
Nature is healing.
Slowly but surely, nature is ending up on a
now
battery
Demu's pushing
farm.
him in.
He's like, we can save 1. If we can save 2, we can rebuild the numbers in the wildlife.
He's still going for it. He's gonna get them.
That
gonna
one
get them
spearman
in, I
is the
feel
MVP. He's like, oh, they've stopped killing me. Let me just get back to herding. It's a good life as an herder. Love my life.
Oh. And there's the longbows now.
If he had undermesh, this wouldn't be too bad, but you see the timing's just not there for DeMu.
Yeah, undermesh now coming in. It's gonna take a little bit. Louis, he's just going straight up to Castle Age now.
Reminder, none of these deer have been killed yet. This is not an animal abuse report act yet.
Now it's gonna start being very annoying though. I mean, you can just, these longbows, they're pretty good.
I mean, at this
They're
point,
pretty good up against Palace Guards.
if I was the deer, I'd just be confused about my existence. You know, I'm used to someone stabbing me in the face or shooting me, but like, what has this been? I swear, if he does cataphracts, no way, you sippy cup, right? Right? with double deer, it's kind of tempting.
I don't think DeMu's a believer in the meme.
It'll be Louis, right?
Louis
Okay,
could
no,
be, but look at that,
we're being tame. It's gonna be Golden Horn Tower.
Shaolin
You could still open
Monastery.
Caddis though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is actually going for the stables behind that. I mean, cataphracts are really, really good still. Like even in low numbers, numbers even more. Just so much value on a single unit. DeMu's gonna have to get crossbow in, but crossbows don't feel that good when you're up against longbows at all.
No, you're just gonna get shredded on the fight. And also Limitane, just all they have to do is kind of stand there and absorb, and it's a good enough roll. And also the importance of those cataphracts, you know, usually when we see things like Varangian, you have to move the longbow army out with you. That's a risk against PGs. But this way, if you just play Caddis, you just camp at home. Never dive into this base because LB are going to be there and get hemorrhaged on the flanks. Like, even the Shaolin Monk's going to struggle against potential cataphract here.
Yeah, Shaolin Monk on the way. Veterancy, or rather, Castle Age upgrade for those Palace Guards as well. Second batch of longbows is in, though, or about to come in. Yeah, this is not something that he can really dive at the moment. There we go, Cataphract coming in as well. And just a single Cataphract is going to be able to pretty much keep the entire army here from DeMu at bay. He's going to try and go for a little bit of damage. At least might be able to kill the Spearmen here. Couple that are there. Oh, he's going for it.
There's no steel arrow. And
Nah, that doesn't work anymore. They're way too
once
slow.
upon a
that
time,
does not work anymore.
in 2021, but not these days, no. So gets denied on the dive. Longbows are in a bit of a pickle, though, because even if he rushes veterancy, he can't. He doesn't have cistern levels up.
Veterancy's in now. In 3, 2, 1. There we go.
There we go. So now
the
they
entire
actually
army
die. Jazz hands. Well, this has been a very weird 10 minutes of Age of Empires 4. I'll say that much.
Yeah, we're now seeing a transition to Lancers from DeMu behind this. He can get them out fairly quickly, and Louis, he's not been massing too many Limitane, so he doesn't immediately have the answer to that. Get a second stable up as well. Yeah, DeMu's going heavily into Lancers. First Monk now also out for Louis, so wants to get a piece of the relics as well.
Yeah, but you know, you don't need spears, Crackety. You just use palings. Huh?
And you're gonna give me like Vietnam flashbacks of but that's actually still in the game where you can like move the
and they stay
while the palings are being deployed. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, you know, I was saying the other night I listened to a streamer mispronounce the word palings. That was I said I couldn't remember the word. It was palings.
What did you say? Palings?
It's palings. I was like,
Ah, yeah, the palings.
good old palings. That'll hold them back. Oh god.
Nothing like making some links with my pal.
I mean, it makes sense because they're effective when they're together, like pals, right?
Lancer has been revealed now. And Louis is going to respond to that by starting to make some more Limitane.
Don't you mean?
Question is, does he have the production buildings for them?
Don't you mean lancers?
The Lancers?
Good old lancers.
Just like the Longbow W men?
Don't forget the pal ace guards.
Pal Ace Guards.
The Shaolins.
The Scoots.
Yeah, I love scoots. They're the best. I like it when they scoot across the map. Oh, and let's not forget the cataphracts.
You don't call them monks anymore, you call them monkeys.
That's gonna get you banned.
Wait, what? How?
Just randomly calling. I'm not gonna explore it deeper for you. You can figure it out. We've got cataphracts in the base. Oh, we could probably eat him.
Oh my god, the defensive wall low. That's annoying. Oh, he's actually killing the cataphract.
Yeah, but he's killed the monk already. Bye. Have a good time.
Oh, he's just running away.
Yeah, but like, I mean, it kind of defeats the point of bringing the other one in. He actually wants to fight this. Lombos are feeling quite bold. They don't have range damage 2 yet, though, so he needs to be a bit careful. I think this is like the interesting thing about Byzantines.
Yeah, there we go. He trapped them.
No, just leave.
Oh wait. Oh, he didn't.
Just use the eject button.
Quite there. He's just gonna heal him up again.
I just love when you're like, the surround wasn't quite there. It was. He just teleported over. I love
Yeah,
that ability.
these cataphracts, they've been on a keto diet or something.
No, they just their ponies are the equivalent of James Bond in the medieval time. Like, you know how his cars had eject buttons? That's what it is.
Yeah,
Like,
you just press Q with these guys, and they're like, I'm out of here.
I love that unit.
He's been able to deny the berries at least, so longbow spam has been slowed down for the most part. And when it comes to the cistern level, there aren't that many of them there yet.
So if Louis wins without really using systems at all, there's like we just.
And we know the nerf worked.
Yep, I think that's how it works. Divergent gameplay. You know, if you guys want to play Byzantines differently,
don't make cisterns anymore in the first place.
Yeah, and then you just need to learn to use free spearmen to push 14 deer into your base. Like, really simple stuff.
DeMu's making dude, there's 9 cataphracts out now, and DeMu, I mean, he's trying to like mass up the lands as well, but it's scary how many catas there are.
Also, he's got...
And with 3 monks, he's able to heal them.
He also, yeah, I was about to say he has gulp at home, is the way I describe that. We do at least have 2 TC from DeMu. Now, this would usually be scary because your opponent would have 5 levels of system, giving him an extra 10 villages. Anyway. He just looks at it like, no, I'd feel bad about taking a level 2 system away from you. You keep it.
Oh, that's a lot of economy for Louis up there.
Thinking about killing a level 2 assistant at this point in the game is like, you know when a homeless person offers you a bite of their pizza, you're like, I'd feel bad to take it from you. Like, just...
For me?
You're like, really fought for your body, but, I mean, you've earned it. You eat that.
I might not look like it, but I don't require this.
Are you usually propositioned randomly by homeless people in the streets to share pizza?
All the day. All the time.
Oh, the eject button used too late there. I mean, I don't know what that says about you if they offer you pizza regularly, to be honest with you.
Depends on if I trimmed the beard or not. Sometimes I look homeless. I'm one of them sometimes, honestly.
It's when you reassess.
The Shaolin monks.
Yeah, just leave. Lol. Yeah, but this is the funny part. They now both get healed. Kata goes back home, gets healed. He gets healed on the go. This is proof that Shaolin monks did discover nanite technology and injected it into their bodies, which is why they're so good at fighting, I think.
Ah, there we go. DeMu, he's found the villagers.
That Seek Shelter feels cursed. Oh, nice body blocks as well. Clubs them down. It's now to a 10 eco lead for DeMu.
That's a lot of villagers being idled right now. 24 idle villagers.
Meanwhile, Wolves going up at home. A cataphract did sneak in, though. Oops. Luckily, you can leave. We didn't want this base anyway. Does it feel like Louis should be doing...
Slowly but surely is getting messed up.
Does it feel like Louis should be doing more with the cataphracts?
That's the issue, right? Like, he can't really do much more because he's always being pushed to, like, the sides that DeMu's at. Now, though, he is starting to get... he's trying to be able to spread his wings a little bit, what to say. Onto the other resource, he's starting to get some walls up now as well.
Oh, God.
He's going to make it harder for DeMu to get any efficient raids in now.
All right, so, like, you look at the minimap, and you know you're watching a Byzantine game. So that very long line through their base, you assume is like, aqueducts, right? But if there was one player in AoE4 that you would think that could actually be palisades.
It's Louis.
We even have to do a double check.
He would be the guy to make that.
He would. I swear to God, he's right. Like, when I watch Louis in 50-minute games, he's writing messages to me on the minimap. I just don't know how to read Chinese.
Witness me.
I actually kind of dread the thought of us getting to the point where this turns into his fabled palisade trench walls. Because Byzantines are quite good at doing that.
I feel like DeMu, he's starting to miss the timing here. He went for a second TC behind all of this now. We're still in Tang Dynasty. But unit-wise, Louis is starting to pull ahead, and his units are significantly higher in value overall, I want to say.
Oh, definitely. And it's also the flexibility in the fight. I mean, like, the Tang leaves a nasty taste. throughout the pun. Like, at this point, you want to be playing towards Yuan. Another raid comes in. Like, this is at least good.
That was great.
And now look at what's happening. Like, Louis was about to attack. This is a very important timing. And once again, DeMu dragged him back home. This is literally a flip reverse roll of game number 1.
Oh, he's getting so many villager kills here. Maybe not. Now he has to run. But he pulled the, as you said, like the entire army is now being pulled back. And this buys DeMu so much time to try and scale with his own economy, which he really needs to do because his food just completely ran out.
And look at the wood income. You know the switch is coming out. The other interesting thing about this is Louis is bulking for an all-in push. There is still a timing where he could eventually say, screw the knights, I'm going in. He's not there yet. And DeMu is doing a fine job of milking this opening to get away with the greed.
Yeah, I want to say, like, what DeMu's doing behind as well, like, his food ran out, so he's massing Nest of Bees instead. Siege instead. That is great, except there's one unit here that can ignore unit collision at all and just dive onto these Nest of Bees. So DeMu's gonna have to take a fight inside of his base in, like, choke points where the Byzantine cataphracts can't have, like, direct line of sight.
He's gonna have to do trigonometry, basically. You essentially have to keep like an L shape between you and the cataphracts all the time.
Oh no, he cannot move out.
No,
he cannot move out. Oh, that is so scary right now.
DeMu?
Who's gonna tell him?
I don't think he's as big as he thinks. This is like he's been sitting on...
That's a lot of posturing here right now.
Yeah.
And now he sees, oh wait, my opponent actually has a lot of units. Let's maybe go back a little bit here.
That's like when you've been squaring up to someone, but you were standing on like an apple box and you didn't realize.
Great keep though. And the timing as well.
Hold up. Catters are going to arrive a little bit too late to stop it. Oh, I don't think you can torch this down, surely.
Yeah, not really.
No, he backs away. You could go, say, like, 2 Kira Siphons, just to kind of push it away. And Jiangnan is now coming
Tower.
in.
Yeah, we're going to go to Song Dynasty. That's when he's going to start really dropping a lot of these farms. But DeMu, I still don't think you want to take any fights outside of your base right now. There's so many cataphracts here. Now, Louis doesn't actually look too...
He's reluctant. I'm a bit surprised.
Yeah, he doesn't want to... He went for his own second TC behind this, actually.
And, like, can we get an olive grove count? Because if you have a lot of olive groves, you don't care. Like, I think you just send it there. But I think... Are those his first? Oh, God, yeah. That explains everything.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, so both of them...
income is also not looking too hot.
I mean, we're going to get that hyper late game. I can feel it. They're both going to get the farm transition going.
Oh, no.
Unless...
I think something's about to happen.
DeMu! No! Not like this! The trample's available.
It might be exactly like this.
And he's got it all. By the long and curlies, DeMu double up on military in favor of Louis. He gets one flurry out of the bees. And they're all gone. And the Lancers got beaten all the way by a small handful of army-slicing Germans.
Oh, God, this might be it now. 10 military units remaining, and the entire food economy has been laid bare.
Louis, you mentioned
no
earlier.
Way out. GG.
What a monster. I can't believe
Crazy.
that. We talked about in an earlier game that he's one of the best players at peeling your army in the silliest of ways, that you feel like a muppet afterwards. Like, oh, what? Where is this one knight going? You chase with 20. We just saw it again to round out the series. loueMT is absolutely monstrous. And, you know, I said it that last year I thought was going to be his year. Really, like, he wasn't able to deliver, but this year he's eclipsing all expectations. This man, I call him a beast from the East for a reason.
Yeah. That was absolutely insane. Like, just these 3 Landsknechte doing so much.
By not doing it. That's the stupid... It's not they killed anything.
They sacrificed their life, but...
Yeah.
That was...
We don't even know their names.
So much value in there.
You know? Like, we'll never recall them years from now. We'll just remember that we won the battle and then try and scrape together the forts of Y. But props to loueMT. 3-1 victory over DeMu.